Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Raffy.
Morning, Aton.
Yes. I'm so excited actually about this conversation kasi when I was starting with our awesome planet, syempre you have this all consumer to consumer platforms, 'di ba? Parang it started from Sulit, naging OLX, and then ngayon Carousell. Maybe can you share us the story of Carousell muna?
Yeah.
To get everybody on board on what happened ba? Parang OLX was became Carousell. Well, so what happened and what is the background of Carousell?
Okay. So Carousel was founded in 2012, so eight years ago, by Sheree, Marcos, and Lucas. And it was all about, they're passionate about technology and how technology can really help solve problems at scale. And so the biggest problem for them at the time was what to do with all their unused, underutilized stuff lying around at home. So they decided to build an app to do that. And they quickly saw that hundreds and thousands of people had the same problems, really appreciated how they solved the problem, and they kept iterating and fixing that problem. And 8 years later, we're present in 8 markets, including the Philippines, and we're one of the leading classifieds platforms in Southeast Asia, and we're one of the fastest growing in the world. So in the Philippines, our company used to be OLX. And in April 2019, we merged with Carousell. So it was a perfect partnership because Carousell was Carousell is very strong in product and technology. It was an app first platform. Everybody's moving to apps, and they had that competence, that very strong capability. While
Okay.
OLX Philippines had a large market share in the Philippines, we had a large customer service team, a sales team that were really helping people buy and sell here. And so by combining those two, the idea was, we can really help more users buy and sell in the Philippines.
Okay. So it's more app-based than I remember kasi website-based yata no from the OLX before,
Yeah,
tama ba?
yeah, that's right. So we call that Classifieds 2.0. Classifieds 1.0 was the Manila Bulletin and the buy and sell Philippines traditional classifieds. Then the classifieds 2.0 was when things went on web. Very,
Okay.
very text heavy. You use search.
Okay.
And there, lots of listings, but you're using a desktop and it takes like 30 minutes to upload your
Oo.
pictures. If you take it in your digicam, transfer it.
Oo.
It's a long process. And then when it's app, it only takes 30 seconds. And that's classified
Ah,
3.0, which is what Carousel pioneered 8 years ago.
oo. So how is this different from from eBay for example? Is this the same ano pa rin, consumer to consumer or business to consumer? Ano bang model ng Carousell?
So we do both. Well, actually, you can sell pretty much anything on Carousel, whether you're a casual seller, like you and me selling our stuff at home, or
Oo.
if you're a professional seller, like a car dealer or a property broker or agent, we're for all of them, for all those types of transactions.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. And sige. So let's start the conversation. We'll just play the OBB and then maybe you can share us more insights about Carousell. All right. Good
Cool.
morning. Good morning. All right. Thank you. And we're here talking to thank you for Hello, good morning. Good morning. For those watching in the live stream, welcome to our breakfast conversation with Raffy Montemayor, the GM of Carousell and former OLX as well. And if you have any questions you want to join our discussion, you can put it in the comments and we'll try to answer it during this live stream. If you're watching this on replay, let us know also and we can answer your question in the comment section. So good morning, Raffy.
Hi, good morning, Anton.
Hi, good morning. So let's start. I'm really interested on what's trending during this quarantine, and maybe you can share with us what happened with Carousell. What are your shopper insights during this time?
Yep, sure. So Carousel makes up like or Filipinos, like 1 out of every 10 Filipinos are on Carousel. So it gives us a really good
Mm.
reflection of what Filipinos are looking for, especially during this lockdown.
Okay.
Because people's needs have changed, whether in the short term or long term, we're not sure yet, right?
Oo.
We're gonna have to wait and see once the new normal comes in. But during this lockdown, we've seen a massive growth in people looking for masks, face shields,
Oo.
personal protective equipment, which makes complete sense, right? Everybody wants to protect themselves and their families and stay safe, so they're looking for these types of listings. And we're also seeing other things like a really big growth in men's grooming. So something that wasn't really so big
Talaga?
on Carousel. I mean,
Okay.
I myself had bought hair clippers and hair scissors on
Okay.
Carousel and asked my wife to cut my hair because it was getting really bad. So,
So
you
question,
know, yeah.
are these brand new items or parang consumer items?
So when it comes to personal protective equipment, it's primarily new, right?
Okay.
Because when people are looking for safety, it has to be clean,
Oo.
hygienic. Typically, that means new. For men's grooming, it's mixed. There are
Okay.
people who are selling used and usually it's like they used it once or twice and then never used it again. And rather than it
Oo.
collect dust, they'd prefer to sell it and at least get some cash back.
Okay.
So when it's
That's
men's
good.
grooming, we're seeing a mix.
Oo.
And I myself have been buying. So and I've heard my friends, and relatives are buying as well. And then we're seeing it on the platform. So it's really cool. Now you're seeing,
Oo.
okay, that must be a really big need of people right now.
All
Um,
right. Nice.
and
So
so many other
quick
categories. Yeah.
quick question. So in Carousel, you can buy directly from there. Hindi na katulad dati na you have to call the seller, ganun.
So we're still a classifieds platform where we connect the buyer and seller, and then they organize how they want to do things.
Okay. So you don't parang mitigate that transaction.
No, no. So we don't we
Handle that
don't
transaction.
we don't actually do the delivery ourselves or collect payment ourselves.
Okay. Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
So what are the other categories? Yeah, men's
So
grooming, tama.
computer parts and accessories. So as both of us are doing right now, we're working from home, and so
Oo,
are
yeah.
millions of other people. So people have been buying stuff for their computer so that they have a more professional setup. Somebody bought a router from me, so I had an extra router lying around, a really good one, and
Ah,
they were having problems with internet. So they said this might help them. So I was more than happy to sell my old router to that person. So people are really want the professional work from home setup.
okay,
Um,
nice. That's
yeah,
a good tip. Yeah. What
yeah.
else? How about fashion? Is yung mga clothing ganyan o hindi na masyado during this time?
No, we're seeing a lot less people buy clothes, whether men's or women's fashion. I mean, they're still there, but not at the same levels as pre-lockdown. And I think,
Okay.
what we've been hearing from users is, why am I going to buy clothes? I'm just staying at home. I don't need to
Oo.
look so good. I don't have to make forma. It's
Oo.
about buying practical things.
Okay.
Yeah. But
So what else?
we believe that is going to go back to normal at a certain point in time. Cooking.
Okay.
So in social media, I'm sure you've seen that, right? Lots of
Yes, of
people are
course. Oo.
becoming professional chefs at home right now. so
Oo, yes.
so people are buying cooking equipment, ovens, anything that they need to try out their new recipes. So that's quite popular, and it's really cool to see that. We also have electric fans. I mean, the heat index the past few weeks, although maybe the past 2 weeks it's been raining a lot, but before that, right, the heat index would go to 41, 42 degrees. So a lot of people are buying electric fans. So 64% growth there for buyers. And as a result, wherever our buyers go, that's also where our sellers go, right? So also our sellers in these categories are growing very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. So, and you were talking about this for food, no? Do you have a food vertical, and what's your plan to help out the food entrepreneurs?
So we have a food vertical, But it was only 2 months ago where we saw this huge spike in interest, like both
Okay.
buyers and then sellers.
Okay.
Um, so our buyers grew by almost double in just a week because of the lockdown. Everybody's looking for groceries, food, beverages that they can consume at home.
Okay.
And as a result, we started seeing a lot of more people post, whether they're professionals or just casual sellers. They're posting now in that category.
Oo.
So so we decided to change it, to enhance it, and add a
Okay.
lot more categories so that from a buyer experience, it's a lot easier to find what you're looking for. For example, we created local eats. It's a subcategory under food and drinks.
Wait,
Yeah.
maybe I'll show the carousel, no? Para maybe you can guide us through. So this is carousel, di ba?
Yes.
So where can you find local eats?
So if you go under home and living, that's the
So
category.
nasa home and living siya. Hindi siya
Yeah.
sa major category. So local eats, for
Yeah.
example. Okay.
Yeah. Then all those categories there that you saw
Oo.
under food and drinks, those are new subcategories we've created.
Okay.
So
Is there a fee for listing? O wala?
for food and drinks, it's completely free to list as many as you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless you advertise, no? Like this one.
So
Correct.
these people, like the first two slots you see,
Oo.
the Caro Switch Roast, and which is I think coffee, and then
Oo.
samgyup. So I think that's like Korean barbecue. So they're spending to be more visible. You know,
Okay.
just like regular retail stores,
Oo.
location, right? So even
Yeah.
online, the
Okay.
more prominent you are, if you're noticed first, if you stand out, then you'll get more buyers. So that's what they're doing there.
So you can search through the so okay. So for example, this one, ito yung mga binebenta niya.
Yes, and you can see this person is likely more a casual seller. He or
Oh.
she is
Okay.
making blueberry cheesecake at home, but also at the same
Mhm.
time selling some clothes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what did you do with local eats? So categorization ba or
You know, it's we created these 7 categories. So if you click on home and living again, and if you could
okay.
leave it there, so you can see now we have local eats, kitchen staples, homemade
Oo.
delight, beverages, packaged snacks, healthy eating, fresh produce. And before it was just food and drinks, and it's all
Yes.
mixed in together. And we see that even these simple changes where you put more subcategories, it makes it easier for sellers to place their items where they believe it fits most. And then it
Oo.
also makes it better from a buyer perspective so that they can
Okay.
find what they're really looking for.
Okay. What's trending here? What's trending in the categories?
Everything. I mean, the
Every,
fact that it's doubled. So we
oh,
added, so double in terms of buyers, and then we've added around 1,400 sellers from before lockdown to lockdown, right?
wow.
And that's we've been helped a lot by our partnership with Unilever Food Solutions. So we've been
Oo.
onboarding their merchants because they have a large customer base, right? But they're all pretty much impacted by the lockdown.
Oo.
So we partnered with them so that we can give them this new channel. Many of them have not sold online before, and so we help
Mm,
onboard them. We help teach them how to use Carousel so that they
okay.
can reach a lot more users online.
All right. So maybe can you give us some tips, let's say for people who are starting with carousel? What's what are some tips for discovery and proper be able to sell effectively on the platform?
Yeah. So I think that just like when you're selling other things like
Mhm.
your old clothes, really good pictures, high res pictures that really show the product and show it in its real in the real light because that's what people really want. What does it really look like when I get this delivered to me, right?
Oo.
And then a detailed description because
Okay.
most people on our platform and I think everywhere in the internet search is the default. you search for an item, like you search Angus beef tapa, right?
Okay.
And then if all you do is put a picture, and yes, maybe in the picture it says Angus beef tapa, but you don't really describe it, you may not get picked up. You might not come out in the search results of that user because you didn't mention Angus beef tapa in description. And I've seen that, unfortunately. I've seen people who are selling for the first time on Carousell. What they do
Mm-hmm.
is they put a picture of their entire menu and then just give details like call us at this number if you want to place your order. But the thing is, how are they going to be discovered if those keywords, the menu items, are not actually in the description? So our recommendation is that aside from that menu, which is of course very helpful, is to have a posting for each item. So you can really show your chicken lollipop and
Oh,
talk about it. What's the price for that platter of chicken lollipops you're selling, for example? And that will make you more visible to users.
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, okay. And you mentioned about the Unilever program. How can people still join that or paano ba 'yan? What are the mechanics?
So we actually have a banner on our website. So if you go back to the homepage,
Okay, we go back to the
yeah.
homepage.
So one
Wait,
of the banners
so
there.
saan?
So this is where you see the looking out for a new hobby. If you scroll to the right, now Carousel Lifeline. If you scroll to the right,
Sandali
yeah,
Ito.
yes, that one.
Ito,
So
this one.
yeah, that one. The parang it toggles after every few seconds.
Oo. Ito.
There,
This one.
that is the Unilever
The
part.
support local.
Yes.
Hashtag support local. So how can you join the here? Do you join or do you apply? Paano ba?
So you join it. So you click on the Let's Support Local Food Businesses there in the upper left.
Upper left. Wait.
Sorry, the one below beside the Marinol 20 user. That
Ito.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we provide details. If you click on Read More to expand the
Okay.
deck.
Okay. So can you explain the program? So they can is it more education program or do they provide like ingredient support also or
So Unilever already provides a lot of support for its F&B merchants. They have an academy. I forget what it's called. They have a UFS Academy, Unilever Food Solution Academy. They
okay.
they have chefs teaching new recipes, things that can be sold from home. So they already do that. There's a lot of support they're giving to their community of buyers. And then what we do is we onboard them to our platform. So we do a session with them. It's like a webinar effectively where we teach them how to use our platform, how to upload listings, how to
Mm-hmm.
build your review score, because that's super important, building your review score online so that people trust you, right? Because they may never have heard of you before. So we teach them those basics. We also even give them free visibility products. So we give them 18,000 pesos worth of products for them to spend and help them get noticed more on the platform to give them a kickstart on Carousell.
Okay. Wait, we have some comments. We'll just flash it. Using Carousel, especially during this ECQ, happy sila. Lalo na yung nagkaroon ng food and beverage. Bakit dati wala talaga yung food and beverage ba?
So it was there, but people didn't think of us when it came to food and drinks.
Oo.
So we made it a bit more prominent, and then also we expanded the category further.
Expand the category. Sige, we have one comment pa. Searching for platforms to sell my family's baked goods. Just very grateful Carousel has space for us. Thank you. Thank you. Now,
Thanks,
meron,
Anya.
thank you. Pero may isang controversial comment here. But you lost a lot of customers when it became Carousel. Some people use every marketplace. Is this true or because naging app there you isolated some audience from before?
So I think there's some truth to it. I mean, when we migrated our OLX users to Carousell, we
Mm-hmm.
lost 10% of our users at the time because
Okay.
it's a migration. When you migrate, things break, things don't go right. As you know, also, like Google is very it's very difficult to understand when you migrate to a new domain.
Mm-hmm.
Some of Google needs to recrawl your platform, and it takes a while for your pages to be indexed again properly. So we did lose, especially during that migration last year, maybe for
Uh,
3 4 months. We did lose some users, and
uh,
people may have felt that. But we encourage them to try us again because we've really invested in our user experience. Even though we're primarily apps, we also have a great desktop and mobile web experience, which we keep developing also. So we encourage them to use us. Like um, if you're a seller, whether you're professional or even a casual seller, it's best to be present in all because then
in
you'll
all.
see. Yeah, because sometimes like if you're selling baked goods, maybe one platform works better than the other. But if you're selling mobile phones, one platform may work better than the other, but it's free. So why not be present in all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you reach more people.
That's good. So, let me ask you that. So, you moved to a different platform. So, you lost all the SEO advantage of OLX before pa?
Not
Meaning, what I'm asking is, if people now search for like desserts to order, would Carousel show up in the search results?
so we were impacted by that because what we benefited from were redirections. So when people saw an OLX link or description, they clicked it, it would be passed on to Carousel.
Okay.
And that so we continue to benefit from that. Now, in terms of indexing, one of the things that changed was that Google was indexing our mobile web instead of our desktop web. While in OLX, they were indexing our desktop web. So these were
Yeah.
things that we had to adapt to because Google constantly changes. And as a
Oo.
result, we were used to desktop web being what we focused on. So now we're more focused on mobile web. So there are those
Oo.
changes that we've had to make.
Yes. And so if you're on mobile, you are forced to download the app. Ganun ba yun? Or
No,
can you
no.
still browse the mobile web?
So we have a lot of users just using mobile web because in the Philippines, especially outside of Metro Manila, data is a problem, and sometimes downloading apps you prefer not to do that. It clogs up your storage space. So mobile web is perfectly fine to use for our
Okay.
platform.
And so essentially you sell everything, no? From real estate to cars to
Yep,
everything
every
bad that people can can
yeah,
sell.
well, everything except if it's illegal, if it's fake or it infringes on copyrights, we don't allow that. We've also
Okay.
made a um, or personal is wrong. We made a company decision that, for example, alcohol we don't sell. Um, you know,
Okay.
um, cigarettes we don't sell. So there are just some things that we've made the decision that I think it's better as a platform that we don't support that. But otherwise, pretty much everything is available on our site.
Wow, ang galing ah. Okay. And is there a social media layer or wala? It's straight parang listing store lang. If like for example we join.
So we also have a groups platform where people of
Ah,
like-minded interests, let's say photography,
oo.
they can create their own groups. They have a
Where is,
section that is just discussions.
where is that?
Let me look at our platform now.
So merong discussion.
Yeah, it's available on the apps. Not
Not on the
something.
website. Okay.
Yeah, what we see is the apps tends to be more engaged users, people who are just staying for like hours,
Mm-mm.
and that's what we've provided there. But it's not something that we're heavily promoting. It just happens organically, and then we've decided to support it a little bit and give them that opportunity.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's good. Ang galing ah. And so by the way, can you share us what's carousel? Sorry na misspelled ko yung carousel. So double L pala yan. What does it mean anything or it's just a reference to the actual carousel fund carousel?
Well, I think it means many things. Eh. Sorry, let me just
Oo.
clear my throat. So, it's a play on the kind of the merry-go-round, where the idea is,
Oo.
items are moving more in a circular fashion. They're moving from people who have used them and benefited for a certain period in time, and then pass it on to the next person, and things keep going around. And it's a very positive and very green sort of transaction and way of doing things. And then, of course, it's a play on that, so that's why we put two L's, so that it's also about selling. That's
Mhm.
our mission, is to inspire every single person in the world to start selling and buying online. So, that's why it's Carousel, and we're a
Um,
classifieds platform. So,
okay.
for the benefit of those who maybe just joined, right? Carousel
Oo.
is an online classifieds platform, the way maybe you used to use Manila Bulletin or Buy and Sell Philippines to buy and sell property, cars, or anything, even games, consoles. We're the same, but we're online, and we have a really great Android and iOS app experience. We're also available on our mobile web and desktop, and so we help connect buyers and sellers. We don't earn from the transactions. We don't get a commission for everything you sell. It's primarily free, especially for casual sellers. We don't want to earn from regular people who are just buying and selling stuff at home. For professional sellers, we provide them tools to make them more successful, and we do monetize that as a way
Mhm.
to sustain our business.
And when you say professional sellers, it means yung mga e-commerce stores. Ganun ba yun?
Well, for goods type products, it's people, clothing stores who are selling on our platform. We have those. We have construction suppliers that are selling on our platform, selling
Ah.
huge equipments. We have property brokers and agents who get 3 to 5% of the commission when they sell a property. We have
Mm-mm.
car dealers, used and new, who are also selling on our platform. So those are professional sellers. They they're willing to spend, because first of all, they spend offline. They do flyering, they invest in
Mm-mm.
posters, they do events, and some of them even do like above the line billboards, TVs, like property developers, right?
Oo.
So,
Yes.
so, so they can do. They are also spending their marketing budget on our platform, because more and more users are online and with Carousel. So we're giving them ways to reach these users.
Wow. All right. That's good. I think and maybe any final tips for the food people, because I think that's very exciting that you can actually list your food categories here.
So my second tip, the first one was high res pictures and a detailed description, super important, especially for each product or food item you're selling. The second one is build your review score, especially during lockdown. People have to transact with you and pay you money in advance, right? And then they'll have it picked up through Lalamove, Grab, Joyride, Angkas, or you'll arrange it for them. But there's a lot of trust required to deposit money ahead, right? Or send a Gcash ahead to somebody. So if you build a review score, which means people who have had successful transactions with you, very happy with your customer service, they leave your review, then other people who will see you for the first time will see that, oh, it's easy to deal with this person. They're trustworthy. When I send my money, I know I'm gonna get the items. So build that review score early on, so that more and more users will frequent you.
Nice. Okay. And the reviews are only for customers, no? Or anybody can just do review.
So both buyers and sellers review each other, and
Okay.
the way it works is, you make an offer. So I do this all the time. So recently I bought pots for growing vegetables at home. So I made an offer for 1,400 for 7 pots. The person rejected it, said 1.6, and we settled No, I think we settled at 1,600, so 200 pesos less than what initially she was selling it for. Then she accepted my offer. When I received the items, we reviewed each other. And you have up to 14 days from the time that your offer is accepted to review each other. If you
Ah,
review each other earlier, that gets posted right away. So that's the way the reviews work on our platform.
galing ah. Let me ask na, parang Airbnb ba yan? Parang you won't see the review kapag hindi nag-review yung the other one?
So you don't have to both review each other. Like
Okay.
if the buyer wants to review the seller, but the seller is so busy, sometimes that happens. The seller is so busy because they're helping other buyers as well. That's fine. Like the buyer's review for the seller will still get posted, and then the seller has 14 days to review the buyer. If they don't, it expires, but that's okay. Primarily, it's the sellers that benefit the most from reviews. But
Okay.
sometimes buyers like me, I'm a buyer. I have a lot of reviews. If I choose now to sell another item at home, people will deal with me with more confidence because if I'm going to sell something at home, I'm going to request that they do a bank transfer because it's difficult to transact using cash right now. Maybe that will be the cost of spreading the virus. So I'll ask for them to bank transfer to my account, and if they see my reviews, they'll know that you know I've transacted with many people. I'm trustworthy. I'm easy to deal with. Then it gives people confidence.
Nice. Any other tips? I'm learning. I'm learning a lot on Carousell. I haven't used it, so but we're really planning to sell a lot of stuff also. Personal lang, mga personal stuff.
Mhm.
Any other tips?
Maybe my last tip would be, customer service in the end is very important. Whether you're selling offline or online or both, customer service is super important. So I'll give you an example. Um, Carousellers, a lot of them are millennials and they love to chat, and they're not big fans of calling or sending an SMS to someone. They want to be able to converse with somebody where they have more freedom, which is the chat on our platform. And then there's some sellers that will say, can you just call me on this number or can you just text me here? And that sometimes turns buyers off. You know, if they prefer to use a particular communication channel, as much as possible, let's accommodate that. And then there's some people like who from the older segment, they prefer calls as the way to transact. Let's also accommodate that because at the end of the day, what's important is that we're able to help and reach out to more buyers, especially if you're a business, right? That's what you're doing this for. Then providing the right customer service is super important. Plus, on our platform, we actually tag your responsiveness to chat because that's so important to our users. So be responsive. If somebody sends you a message, reply within a reasonable amount of time, and you'll be tagged as very responsive. And more people will want to deal with you because they know if I inquire with this person, they're gonna get back to me very fast, and I'll have a better transaction.
Wow, ang galing ah. That's a really good tip. So in the Philippines, there are a lot of carolers. What do you call caro sellers?
Sellers, yeah.
Caro sellers versus let's say in the region. I know this one is very popular in Singapore, di ba?
Yes.
And in the other Southeast Asia. What's happening in the Philippines?
So in the Philippines, we're around 10% of the population are on Carousel and growing steadily. We have that's around 10 million monthly active users. And
Wow.
in Singapore, it's around 40 to 50%. It's the main market. Well, main market meaning it's the first market.
Oh,
And
it's the first
also,
market.
plus Singapore is a smaller population, and it's a more advanced in terms of economy. So more
Mm-hmm.
people are buying and selling online, right?
Yes.
While in the Philippines, we're starting to move there, especially with the lockdown. I think that accelerated a lot and will continue to accelerate, until there's a vaccine.
Okay. So as we close this conversation, what's next ba with Carousel, and especially here in the Philippines? Are we seeing a lot more people going into this type of transactions?
So I think so. We're seeing a lot more people use classifieds, use Carousel, and we're going to continue to invest on the buyer and seller experience, because the easier we make it for people to buy on our platform, the easier we make it for people to post their items and sell on our platform, the more users we'll get, and the bigger the community will be. And that, the bigger the community, the wider the audience, so buying and selling becomes easier and faster, right? So
Okay.
we've already launched two things before the lockdown. We launched a new autos or cars platform, and we also launched a new property platform on Android and iOS for both. And then
Okay.
after, later this year, we'll also be launching that on web. And
Okay.
what we've seen already with cars is that when we launched this new cars platform, our users grew, our buyers inquiring on cars and inquiring on property like grew 60%, right? Just from making a better buyer experience. So what more if we also do this on web, where a lot of people are researching about cars, and so that's
Mm-hmm.
something we're excited about, and we believe that after the lockdown, more people will want to buy used cars, because people are worried and scared about taking public transportation, right? Because
Yes.
that's the way I'm
Uh,
going to be exposed. Plus, the limited capacity of public transportation is going to be a concern. I think only 25% of the capacity of public transportation will be allowed, right? Open for use. So,
uh,
we believe there's going to be a really big trend for people buying affordable, which is used cars.
yes. Oh, nice. Maybe before we close, can we have a photo lang for the our
Sure.
thumbnail? Okay. One, two. One more. We'll do another layout lang. Okay. Okay. One, two. All right. So, wow. So you have been in this industry from OLX to Carousel. How long na?
So I joined the OLX in 2016. So it's been
Wow.
4 years, 4 years now.
4 years. And maybe final thoughts on people that will be joining the platform, or as we go in the new normal, what do you think people can capitalize? I know there'll be a lot of opportunities for sure as we go back to normalize our life.
So I really encourage people to sell their underutilized stuff at home. Many people are trying to start a business right now because they need to earn more money so that they can support their family. And they're wondering, what should I get into? And my recommendation there is first, you know, list everything you have at home that you no longer use or you no longer need. And then you're gonna see which ones are very popular, right? Maybe you list like your router, you didn't realize, oh, so many people are buying computer parts and accessories, or you list your Nintendo Switch. Then you'll realize, wow, so many people are buying gaming consoles. Actually, Nintendo Switch is one of the most popular keywords right now on our platform. So that's how you're going to learn what the platform can do for you and what's popular to users. First, list what you have. You'll get a very good indication of what's popular, and then you sell more of those things, and then you can really then start to grow a real legitimate business online.
All right, thank you, and I'll take that advice and um, start selling our stuff here. Oh, gaming, no, is a very popular category now.
Yes.
Yung Nintendo Switch ba, brand new yun or second hand?
No, a lot of people are buying used. Nintendo Switch was only launched, I think, a few years ago. So even if it's
Oo.
used, those are still very good quality. You get it very affordably, and it's very good quality, well taken care of. So I think that's a really good buy.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. That's my sons are asking for it nga na ano na kasi may mga games din na maganda, 'di ba? Like Animal Crossing and stuff.
For me,
So,
Zelda.
ano?
Zelda. That's my favorite.
Zelda. Wow,
I
okay.
have a Nintendo Switch too.
All right. Thank you, Rafi, for spending the time here. I was really interested to know more about Carousel, and thank you for sharing it with our audience. Thank
And thank
you.
you for having me, Anton. I really enjoyed our discussion.
Yes. All right. Thank you. And for here, talking to thank you for All right, galing. Thanks dito pa tayo nagkita online pa.
Yeah, I know. Anton, let me just say that I loved your blog. Our Awesome Planet blog was my go-to source for all my
Wow.
dates when where I took my wife. Then she was my girlfriend. I would
Okay.
always research on your blog like cool new restaurants to try. And then what I really liked was your honesty. There's some dishes, they're not good, and you said, don't you don't recommend it, but then they're the ones that are good. So I like that honesty. Like you pioneered that, and that's
Yeah.
really cool. So
Thank you.
thanks for
Thank
that.
you. So, recently married ka ba or you have kids?
We got married. My wife's gonna kill me if I forget the year. 2020 as well, 2016. So we've been
That is,
married 4 years.
wow. So, the same with the new, when you joined OLX.
Yes. It was a coincidence that it happened that way. Two new
Oo.
changes.
Question, curious lang ako, yung sa Carousel, so sino yung mga competition niyo in Manila? I think FB Marketplace, di ba? Sulit ba is still a competitor? eBay? Parang eBay, parang hindi na nag-ano yung eBay.
No.
Sino ba
So
ang usually?
eBay's not really focusing on the Philippines.
Oo, parang
And
wala na, di ba?
yeah, and Sulit is, Carousel is formerly OLX and formerly Sulit. So those two platforms, kind of we all, migrated that to
Parang
Carousel.
minerge na lahat ng identity, no?
Yes, that's right. Facebook Marketplace, of course, is a competitor. Um, Indirectly, people sometimes lump us together with Lazada and Shopee, but we believe we're very different from those two
Oo,
platforms.
parang it's
E-commerce,
different naman.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think question lang yung quality of buyers
Mhm.
and sellers. Is that intentional ba to move it to a mobile platform to improve that quality?
So it's not about the quality of buyers. It's more of that's where buyers now are preferring to go with. People, rather
Ah,
than always have their, especially before when people were going around, they're always with their smartphones, and so it's better to tailor to them because who knows when people will still use their tablets or desktops. Maybe everything that gets done through the phone, and so we wanted to make sure that we were innovating for that type of experience.
galing galing. And marami nga ako narinig they're able to sell nga in Carousel. And
Good to hear.
yeah. All right. Sige. Thank you. We'll try our selling. You have your profile there. Makikita ko ba ang profile mo sa Carousel? Or
Yes,
hindi?
my username is Raffy SM.
Raffy SM.
Yeah.
Okay. Para gagayahin ko lang yung style din. Of course, no. Raffy SM as
Yeah.
in SM as in Shoemart, Raffy
Yeah,
Shoemart.
those are my initials. So
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Raffy SM. All right. Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you on our platform, and maybe we'll
Yes.
transact together soon.
Yes. Oh, thank you. All right.
Thanks,
Salamat.
Anton. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.